Hi, my name is Krista Gonzalez, and the company I'm going to be doing a marketing analysis over is going to be Groupon. Groupon is a publicly traded company, and we're going to go over certain aspects within a marketing analysis. Just an overview of the things that we are going to discuss today. We are going to discuss the company background, an overview of the company and the industry. We're going to do a competitor analysis, a SWOT analysis, go over the industry marketing mix, which contains the product offering, distribution, pricing, promotion, and finally, we're going to discuss the product positioning and differentiation. For the company background for Groupon, Groupon was first launched in November 2008, and it was led by the previous CEO, Andrew Mason, who was no longer the CEO for Groupon. The complete idea of Groupon was developed by two different words, group and coupon, which creates the word Groupon. Groupon provides these daily deals to customers for certain products and services at a discounted rate. Another thing about Groupon is that they have made a large amount of acquisitions worldwide. An overview of Groupon and its industry. I chose the industry to be as the internet and catalog and retail industry. Looking at Yahoo Finance, it was saying that primarily a lot of their competitors were search engines. And so I believe that Groupon is not just a search engine, that they do provide services and products. They are the middleman between the consumer and the merchant, and also they are in the discounted sector. Some information that I found online is the number of employees that they currently have from reported in February. They have approximately 11,000 employees. They have a very large amount of subscribers, especially within the North America, even if they do have certain acquisitions that are not in North America. And they were also headquartered in Chicago, Illinois, which is where they first started. And two other things that they recently have developed is Snap and Ideal. Snap is an app where consumers can simply take pictures of certain grocery items listed on the receipt and potentially get cash back with a minimum of $20 before cashing out. Ideal is a fashion discounted website, very similar to Lululemon. They promote and sell these top brands to their customers. And this is a fairly recent and new addition to Groupon, which started in November. Looking at Groupon's customers and several different aspects, we look at age, we look at education, we look at marital status and gender, and within the next slide we look at their employment, and we also look at their income. Within the age department here in the first top left chart, you can see that their main customers are between 18 and 34 years old. About 68% is their consumers. And you can see here within the education part that at least 50% of their customers do have their bachelor's degree. And you can see within the marital status and gender that a huge part, about 50% of their customers are single, and the majority of the customers within the gender section are going to be women with 77%. And then next here we can see within the employment, we can see that 75% of Groupon's customers are full-time employees. And then with the next department, you can see the highest percentage with the highest level of income that we have here is we have 29% of Groupon's customers who make over $100,000 a year. The three competitors that I was able to identify for Groupon was Living Social, Google, and Facebook. Google and Facebook both had previously made offers to buy out Groupon before Groupon even became a publicly traded company. Groupon's primary competitor is Living Social, whose company is quite similar to Groupon's in many ways. They provide daily deals and discounts to services and products as well for customers. Google and Facebook, their main attribution is not similar to Groupon's because they have a subsidiary department where they provide discounted services to their customers. Some of the strengths for Groupon, this is the beginning of our SWOT analysis that we have here, is that Groupon has a very strong brand recognition. It's very popular and it's very well known. We can also see here, looking at the financial statements from 2010 going forward to 2013, you can see that their revenues have increased tremendously. And then another strength for Groupon is that they are a very diversified company with their acquisitions from all over the world. And finally, Groupon does not have any debt. There is no debt or any liabilities reported on their financial statements. They use little or no debt in their capital structure, and they may possibly have less financial risk than the industry aggregate. Also, looking at account receivable, they are typical for the industry with about 12.79 days worth of sales outstanding. And finally, Groupon is the least efficient in its industry at managing inventories, with 16.48 days of its cost of goods sold tied up in inventories. A few weaknesses that we can identify here is primarily the large amount of net loss that Groupon has had. Year after year, Groupon has seen their bottom line shrink from a loss of $15.8 million to even a larger loss of $95.4 million, despite the increase in revenues from $2.3 billion to $2.6 billion. An increase in the percentage of sales devoted to cost of goods sold from 30% to 41% was a key component in the falling bottom line in the face of rising revenues. Also, I identified an additional two other weaknesses. There is a high cost for merchants to have their deal available to these consumers. Yes, Groupon is making 50% of the profit, but these consumers, they see that, these merchants, I believe, have these deals provided, and it ends up being very costly to them if they are not prepared for the large amount of demand. Also, since there is such a large amount of competitors and they're all doing primarily the same thing in the discounted section, I wasn't able to identify large significant differentiation that Groupon had amongst their competitors. Some of the opportunities for Groupon is, yes, we know the previous history with Google and Facebook and how they both tried to purchase Groupon before they became a publicly traded company. We believe that potentially joining forces with them would increase their potential revenue, it would increase their brand, and having Google or having Facebook publicize their deals would make them a more profitable company potentially. We also believe with the introduction of these new aspects of Groupon, like Snap and Ideal, I believe that this could increase the brand recognition of Groupon, and it can also potentially increase their revenue from both of these subsidiaries of Groupon. So I was able to identify several threats. One of the largest threats that I saw was that there are many companies, especially within the United States and even in other countries, there's so many companies that are doing the same thing as Groupon. Another threat that I thought was important was that when merchants provide these deals, sometimes Groupon, since they're very a high trafficked website, there can be a very high demand for these products and services, and these small and local companies are not able to provide for such a high demand. This can be very costly to them. Another threat that I saw was a lot of these items here are discretionary items, such as any form of gym membership, any yoga classes, and a lot of these items are not primarily needed. And I feel like looking into the future, we're not sure if how customers' taste would change. And also, again, there's a very high competition within the discounted sector itself. And also, it's very difficult to foretell the future of Groupon just because of their significant high net loss. Looking at this, we aren't able to identify and see what the potential that Groupon has, and this can be a very threatening aspect to look at, especially for investors or even stakeholders. Some of the product offerings just from Groupon.com, not including Ideal or Snap. You can see primarily here, we can see the food and drink, which is any restaurant, things to do, activities, beauty and spa, any health and fitness. They could be, even equipment or even to health and fitness courses. Automotive is typically a lot of automotive services such as oil changes, shopping. There could be certain websites or certain stores where you can get discounts, electronics, home and gardening, and also getaways, which is typically a form of vacation, or you can get which may include airfare. And with the airfare, sometimes you can only leave that from a certain airport, and so you would have to pay for your transportation to that airport location. And so you can see here, this is my Groupon page. I didn't log in or anything to show you all my information, but you can see at the top where you can sign up for the daily deal, and you can select the city, and that is where they send you your daily emails. A lot of times whenever you first go onto Groupon, you have to enter an email address, and that's their way of getting in contact with you and sending you constant emails of what their deals that they're providing. As well, here there's a search engine. If there's something that you're particularly looking for, like here, some sort of a dance lesson, you can simply look that up, and whatever is available will show it to you. Another thing that I saw really interesting that's kind of new, they actually have a clearance section here at the top. You can see the clearance section. It's primarily products at a discounted rate, and also which is also fairly new, is the coupon section, where you can get codes to certain websites, and with these websites you can get a discounted rate additional. Also, especially for the holidays, you are able to gift a Groupon, or you can purchase just a simple Groupon gift card to your loved one. With the distribution from Groupon.com, just the Groupon website, there is an indirect distribution just because the services and products are provided from the merchants, not from Groupon.com. Groupon serves typically as the middleman, where they will you purchase the deal and they will send you a voucher, and then within that voucher is the instructions on how to redeem that product or purchase. And this makes things a lot easier for Groupon because they are not the ones providing that product or service to you. Pricing. Within pricing, Groupon typically always provides a lower cost than the full price at whether it's a product or service. Groupon does receive half of the cost. Let's say that you're a merchant, and you the cost for your certain for your certain item or for your certain service is $50, and that's at the discounted rate. Groupon would be paying that half of that. Groupon would be receiving half of that. Another thing to look at within pricing, Groupon sometimes does these flash sales, and they may take off additional 20% off, or just a little bit additional. And with getting those flash saves within those flash saves, you primarily would be getting an email for that. Another thing that is also within the pricing is the limit to the number of deals that you can that are available. For the promotion, Groupon does require you to submit your email address so that you can get the Groupon daily deal. I remember just going simply to the Groupon website, you had to enter your email address, so that's kind of how they primarily get to you, by sending you constant emails. And another thing for promotion was that consumers are able to share the deal that they just purchased. Let's say that you purchased something for $20, and whenever you finish purchasing that, you have the possibility of sharing it to other people. And if they purchase that same deal with that code that you send them, you can receive your deal completely free. And just another part of promotion itself, I believe that Groupon itself, the company, is a marketing company, and they promote these local businesses, and this is an important aspect to, and it helps out these local businesses as well. Finally, with product positioning and differentiation, some of the things I found very similar for Groupon is they do have a lot of discounted products and services. They do have these daily deals, and Living Social does primarily the same thing. And even with the same promotions, kind of certain different items, but they're very similar. Also, they do have an app available, but nowadays, most of these discounted services, like Groupon, they all have their apps available just for the convenience of the customer. Some of the things that I noticed for the points of difference was there was, I think on some quant data, there's a very high traffic on the website. In the last few months, you notice that it's about at least a minimal of over 2 million people who visit Groupon.com, and it's a very popular and well-known company. And one thing that Groupon also does is a Groupon promise. And let's say that you are not completely satisfied. Let's say you're not completely satisfied with their service, for the product, from the merchant. Groupon does its best to please their customers, and whatever they can do with you, you can send them. I think it's like an email in the contact section, and they always respond to you within 24 hours. They're able to assist you in that situation. I never really noticed a lot of the other sites who provide coupons, and with these coupons, it's when you get those additional discounts or additional codes, so that way you can pay less. Also, for points of difference, Groupon has a lot of acquisitions, and they are expanding. They're not just providing services and products. They have the Snap app, which is completely free, and they also have Ideal, which I think is very important. They're getting more into the fashion industry, and this fashion discount is kind of very similar to Rulala. The biggest thing where I can see is just the very significant net loss that Groupon has had, and I feel like that could be the biggest threat for the future of Groupon. And I just feel that Groupon, potentially in the future, I feel like they should merge with Facebook or even Google, and just kind of just take more control of their cost. But overall, Groupon is surviving. It's barely hanging on there, but this is my marketing analysis, and I would like to thank you for your time. Thank you.